Welcome to this extraordinary journey you're about to undertake. We're here to delve into a profound experience, something only a small fraction of people truly encounters. The ultimate stage of spiritual awakening. This isn't your average self-help video, no. This experience dives far deeper. It's designed to shake the very foundation of your self-perception. If you're watching this, you may already feel that gentle pull towards something grander, something much more impactful. But how can you know if you're close to entering that elusive 1%? How can you tell if you're on the verge of spiritual awakening? Join us at Chosen One Sanctuary for more profound spiritual teachings. Let's first explore what spiritual awakening genuinely signifies. It's not merely about tranquility, enlightenment, or the absence of suffering. It involves a metamorphosis so profound that it alters the very essence of your being. It's a state in which the ego dissolves, and you begin to perceive the world in its authentic form, not through the filters of your thoughts, emotions, or past encounters, but through the lens of pure awareness. Yet, be aware that awakening isn't always a comfortable path. In fact, the closer you get to this ultimate state, the more intense the experience can become. It's a paradox. As you delve deeper, more will rise to confront you. This brings us to the first sign that you might be approaching the highest stage of spiritual realization. You find yourself feeling increasingly out of place in the world as it currently is. The things that once captivated your attention, the material possessions, social status, and ceaseless pursuit of success, start to lose their hold on you. You begin to recognize that all these are part of the illusion, the Maya that ensnares most individuals in a cycle of desire and suffering. It's not that you disdain the world or wish to escape it. Instead, you come to understand its transient nature, its fleeting essence. It's as if one day you wake up to the realization that everything you believed was merely a dream. How would you respond? Would you cling to that dream, or would you choose to release it? That is the essential question you must face as you journey toward awakening. And here's the catch. The more you attempt to cling to your previous ways of thinking, the more you may feel yourself being torn apart. It's like the universe is posing a simple yet profound question. Are you ready to let go? Surrendering does not equate to giving up. It's not about forsaking your responsibilities or retreating from life. Instead, it's about loosening your tight grip on identity, beliefs, and expectations. You begin to recognize that none of these define you. You are not your thoughts, emotions, or your past. You are something far grander, something timeless and infinite. This brings us to the second sign. You may begin to experience an unmistakable sense of inner peace, even amidst chaos. This is not the kind of peace that results from favorable circumstances. It's not about everything aligning perfectly or evading hardships. This peace transcends all of that. It's a deep-seated tranquility that arises when you come to terms with the fact that everything is precisely as it should be, even if it defies rational understanding. However, this peace may initially be unsettling. Why? Because it compels you to confront the realization that you have spent much of your life resisting reality. That incessant wish to control it and mold it to fit your expectations. Now, as you approach awakening, you are beckoned to surrender to, trust in, and allow life to unfold without interference. Can you embrace that? Can you relinquish the need for control? This is another significant question on your path, and finding the answer isn't always straightforward. The ego resists surrender. It longs to hold on, to fight, to assert its presence. Yet, as you near awakening, you come to the profound awareness that the ego is merely an illusion. It's not the essence of who you are. Once you perceive this truth, a remarkable transformation occurs. You begin to experience life from a vantage point of pure awareness. You become the observer, the witness to everything that transpires, void of attachment or judgment. And that leads us to the third sign that you are approaching the highest stage of spiritual awakening. You start to perceive the interconnectedness of all things. The boundaries separating you from the world around you begin to dissolve, and you experience a profound sense of unity with all beings. This unity is not merely a concept or belief. It's a visceral feeling that resonates in your very being. You begin to recognize the divine in everything, in every individual, every tree, every cloud, every moment. And with that comes a deep, encompassing compassion. You come to understand that everyone is traversing their own journey, doing the best they can with the level of awareness they possess. Yet, here's the paradox once more. As you embrace this feeling of unity, you also encounter a profound sense of solitude, not loneliness, but a poignant aloneness. At the deepest level, you grasp that you are the only one present. You are the universe exploring itself through the guise of humanity. This realization may evoke both liberation and trepidation. Are you prepared to confront that truth? Are you ready to accept that you are both everything and nothing simultaneously? As you delve further into this state of awareness, something incredible occurs. The old you, the version preoccupied with achievement, validation, and control, begins to dissipate. In its place, a new self emerges, a being of pure presence, pure awareness, and boundless love. This marks the final sign that you are on the cusp of reaching the highest stage of spiritual awakening. You begin to live from a place of love rather than fear. You start to recognize love as the fundamental essence of the universe, the force that binds everything together. Yet, this love isn't the romantic variety most associated with. It is not about attachment or desire. It is unconditional, infinite, and all-encompassing. It is a love that encompasses everything, even what appears dark or painful. In this state of awakening, you grasp that there exists no polarities of good and bad, right and wrong. Everything is simply part of life's intricate dance, and you are both the dancer and the dance. So, as you sit here absorbing these words, I want to pose a question to you. Are you ready? Are you ready to relinquish everything you think you know? Are you prepared to embrace the unknown and welcome the enigma of existence? Because that's what the highest stage of spiritual awakening demands. A willingness to surrender entirely, to trust the process, and to allow life to lead you. As you navigate this journey toward spiritual awakening, the theme of surrender becomes vital. But stepping into surrender isn't akin to defeat as one might typically perceive it. No, it embodies a radical acceptance of what is. It's that moment when you cease resisting the current of life and permit yourself to be carried by it. The ego thrives on resistance. It yearns for control, to shape reality to align with its narrow worldview. However, as you edge closer to the pinnacle of awakening, you recognize that these attempts at control are nothing but illusions. Here lies the paradox. The tighter you cling to control, the more isolated you feel. True freedom emerges not from holding on but from letting go. But how do we release that hold when the ego has so deeply woven itself into the fabric of our identity? How do we free ourselves when we have dedicated our lives to constructing an image of who we believe we are? The first step is awareness. You start to notice the ego's patterns, how it reacts in varying situations, its craving for validation, its fear of rejection. Yet, you don't judge it. Instead, you offer it compassion as you witness it. You begin to perceive the ego for what it truly is. A construct of conditioned responses, a collection of thoughts, beliefs, and emotions ingrained over time. It's not the real you. It's merely a mask you've donned. Yet here we find the pivot. Once you attain awareness of the ego, it gradually loses its grip over you. You come to recognize that you are not your mind. You are the awareness that transcends the mind. This revelation becomes the catalyst for true transformation. The moment you genuinely grasp this concept, you experience an immense liberation. You stop identifying with the thoughts and emotions that arise. You observe them as clouds passing through the expanse of your consciousness. They come and go, yet you remain constant, vast, infinite, and untouched. This encapsulates the essence of transcendence. You rise above the ego, not by battling or attempting to obliterate it, but by seeing through its facade. You understand that the ego is merely a shadow, and shadows cannot endure in the illuminating light of awareness. Once you've unlocked this understanding, something miraculous takes shape. You begin to engage with life from a place of pure presence. But what does it mean to embody pure presence? It signifies that you are wholly here, fully alive in this moment. You are no longer enmeshed in thoughts of the past or concerns about the future. The mind might still generate those thoughts, yet you no longer become ensnared by them. You see them for what they are, mere mental noise. And in this space of presence, something magical begins to awaken. You start to experience the world as it genuinely is, untainted by the filters of the mind. Have you ever found yourself so engrossed in the present that time seemed to evaporate? Perhaps it was while watching a breathtaking sunset, listening to an evocative piece of music, or simply savoring a moment of silence. In those moments, there exists no past, no future, and no sense of self, only the experience itself. This is the essence of pure presence. As you journey closer to spiritual awakening, this state of presence becomes your natural way of being. Yet, here lies the challenge. The ego doesn't want to relinquish its dominion so easily. Even as you begin to savor moments of presence, the ego will endeavor to ensnare you in its web of thoughts and narratives. It will conjure distractions, instill doubts, and ignite fears. It will insist that you aren't good enough, unprepared, or that you need to accomplish more, be more, and achieve more. But here's the truth. You don't need to do anything to attain awakening. There are no accomplishments required. Awakening cannot be earned through effort. It isn't a reward obtained through years of spiritual discipline. Awakening is already here, embedded within you. It is the deepest part of your essence. The only barrier is your identification with the ego and the mind. Once you pierce through that identification, awakening will unfold naturally. So, how do you navigate this complex terrain? How do you remain present when the ego perpetually strives to drag you back into its drama? The answer is straightforward, yet not always easy. You practice. You practice being present. You practice observing your mind without becoming ensnared by it. You practice releasing the urge to control, and over time, a transformation occurs. Your moments of presence will lengthen and grow more frequent. The pull of the ego will weaken, and eventually, you will find yourself living increasingly from that space of pure awareness. Let's take a moment to explore further. What does it genuinely feel like to exist from pure awareness? Imagine waking in the morning. Rather than diving immediately into thoughts of your agenda for the day, you take a moment simply to be. You feel the weight of your body against the bed, the cool air brushing against your skin, the birds chirping outside your window. You're not just thinking about these sensations, you are experiencing them directly, unhindered by the mind. As you go through your day, you remain present. During meals, you are entirely aware of the flavors, textures, and sensations of the food in your mouth. When engaging with someone, you are fully present, listening deeply without losing yourself in your own thoughts or judgments. When challenges surface, you don't react from fear or anger. Instead, you respond from clarity and peace. This is the essence of living from pure awareness. Life doesn't become flawless, nor do challenges vanish, but your relationship with life evolves. You no longer resist what is. You no longer become entangled in the drama of the mind. You cultivate a profound sense of peace, even amidst chaos. Here's an essential question for you. Are you willing to let go of the need to be right? Are you willing to forsake the need to defend your opinions, beliefs, and identity? As you delve deeper into awakening, these constructs will reveal themselves as mere products of the ego, not the essence of who you truly are. The more you cling to them, the more you remain trapped within the illusion of separation. This leads us to another crucial component of awakening: humility. As you begin to see through the ego, you also recognize how much you do not know. You come to realize that life is far more mysterious and expansive than your mind can grasp. With this realization comes a profound sense of humility. You no longer feel compelled to prove yourself or assert superiority. You relinquish the need to always be right. Instead, you cultivate openness. Openness to the unknown, the mystery of life, and the possibility that everything you thought you knew might be mistaken. This openness is where true wisdom flourishes. It's not a wisdom derived from textbooks or intellectual pursuits, but from direct experience and from being fully present with life as it unfolds. As this wisdom deepens, you encounter a transformative sense of gratitude. You discern that every moment, every experience is a gift. Even the challenges and pain are integral to the unfolding of your awakening. So I ask you, can you embrace uncertainty? Can you relinquish the need for all the answers? Can you trust that life is guiding you, even when you cannot see the destination? As we continue to explore this profound journey, we arrive at the breathtaking and liberating realization: the flow of life. Here, you begin to grasp that there is an inherent rhythm to everything, a divine, effortless flow that carries you through existence. When you cease to swim against it, your experience changes. But this isn't merely a concept or a philosophy. To truly live in the flow requires a complete recalibration in how you engage with reality. When we speak of the flow of life, what are we really conveying? It's not passivity, nor is it about following blindly whatever unfolds. Instead, it's about aligning so harmoniously with the present moment that you become one with the unfolding of life. In this state, you move as life moves. There's no resistance, no push and pull, just a seamless dance between you and the universe. Yet, here's the catch: the mind, particularly the egoic mind, stubbornly attempts to resist this flow. The ego craves control. It longs for certainty and desires to know what lies ahead. It seeks comfort in predictability, aiming to feel safe through its futile attempts to dictate the future. However, as you approach the summit of spiritual awakening, you begin to recognize the futility of this struggle. Life is unpredictable, ever-changing, and filled with surprises. The more you cling to control, the greater your disconnection from the flow. So, what does it look like to live in the flow practically? The first key is trust. Trust in life itself. Trust that every event, every experience, and every challenge contributes to your growth. This trust doesn't imply that you cease making choices or become passive. It means you stop resisting outcomes. You take action when action is called for, but relinquish the need for things to unfold a certain way. Trust that whatever occurs is precisely what is necessary for your highest evolution. Let's deepen this exploration. Consider a difficult situation you might be facing. Perhaps a conflict at work, a relationship issue, or a health challenge. The mind instinctually wants to analyze, fix, and control the situation. It seeks strategies to escape discomfort. But when living in the flow of life, you choose a different path. Instead of reacting from fear or anger, you pause. You take a moment to connect deeply with the present moment, to feel the situation. Not just engage with it intellectually, but with your entire being. You might ask yourself, what is life attempting to show me here? What lessons are being presented? And then you listen. Not with your mind, but with your heart and intuition, your inner knowing. This is where the shift occurs. Instead of resisting the circumstances, you remain open to them. You allow them to unfold without the need to control them. And in that openness, you discover profound peace. It's not that the challenge vanishes, but your relationship to it metamorphoses. You no longer fight against life, rather, you flow with it. In that flow, solutions often arise effortlessly. The right people, opportunities, or insights come to you, not because you forced them, but because you created space for them to manifest. However, here lies a deeper question. Can you trust life even when things don't work out as you desire? Can you embrace the flow when it seems as if everything is unraveling? This aspect of spiritual awakening can prove to be one of the most difficult. The ego yearns for comfort, for predictability, for ease. But life, especially as you approach the highest stages of awakening, often challenges you in ways you never anticipated. It nudges you to release attachments, expectations, and even your own identity, which can feel incredibly uncomfortable. Yet, it is in this discomfort that authentic freedom resides. True freedom doesn't arise from controlling life. It blossoms from surrendering to it. It emerges from recognizing that you are not separate from life. You are life, intertwined with its universal flow. The mind crafts the illusion of separation, the notion that there is you and then the world around you. But in the flow of life, that illusion dissipates, and you come to realize that you are a part of the whole, an expression of the same universal energy that moves the stars, nurtures the trees, and beats your heart. This brings us to the ultimate realization: you are not the doer. The ego perceives itself as in charge, convinced that it is orchestrating events. Yet, as you awaken, you begin to understand that everything is occurring through you, not by you. Life is living itself through your form, your thoughts, your actions, and your experiences. When you fully embrace this, you discover a remarkable ease. You no longer feel compelled to push or force outcomes. Instead, you become a vessel for life to express itself. You move with the flow, and in doing so, you uncover an extraordinary sense of freedom. Now, let's take a brief pause for reflection. Can you release the notion that you hold the reins of control? Can you accept that life knows the path, even when you do not? These questions aren't easy to answer, particularly when we've been conditioned to believe that control equates to safety. Yet, here lies the wisdom birthed from awakening. True safety doesn't originate from control. It stems from trust. It is understanding that regardless of the circumstances, life will always support you. As we continue this journey together, I invite you to subscribe to Chosen One Sanctuary, where we deepen our exploration of these profound themes and truths. Together, let's embrace the flow of life, trust in the unfolding, and awaken to the wondrous reality of our existence. As you begin to surrender to the rhythm of existence, a profound truth awakens within you. You find yourself immersed in synchronicity, where events align with an almost ethereal precision. You encounter individuals at just the right moment. Unexpected opportunities gracefully appear, and you discover that you are exactly where you need to be with effortless ease. This is not mere chance. It is the essence of life's flow, guiding you. When you cease resisting and begin to harmonize with the now, life unfolds through you with a sense of grace and tranquility. Let's delve even deeper. Embracing the flow of life also means welcoming uncertainty. The mind often clutches at certainty, associating it with safety and stability. However, as you journey towards spiritual awakening, a new perspective unfolds. Uncertainty is not to be feared but cherished, for it is within the realm of the unknown that infinite possibilities await. When you relinquish the need to predict the future, you open yourself to the boundless potential of existence. Stepping into the mystery of life invites surprises that the mind could never conceive. So, let me ask you this. Are you willing to embrace the unknown? Are you ready to step boldly into life's mysteries without the necessity of having every answer? This is where your true adventure begins. The pinnacle of spiritual awakening is not about reaching an end point. Rather, it is about engaging with the mystery of existence with an open heart and a tranquil mind. It's about being present with every moment as it arises, freeing yourself from the grip of the past and the anxiety of the future. This brings us to one of the most profound elements of awakening: love. As you dissolve the ego, release into the flow, and welcome uncertainty, an incredible transformation occurs. You start to experience life through the lens of unconditional love. This is not a love contingent upon others or defined by external circumstances. It transcends romantic notions or attachments. It is love that emanates from the depths of your being, a love that is boundless, infinite, and truly unconditional. This love is the essence of your existence and the very fabric of the universe. As you awaken to this intrinsic love, it reveals itself to you everywhere, in those around you, in the splendor of nature, in challenges that arise, and even in moments of pain. You come to understand that everything, every experience, every encounter is a manifestation of this divine love. And in this realization, you discover profound peace, joy, and freedom. As we reach the conclusion of this exploration, I wish to leave you with one last inquiry. Can you live from this profound place of love? Can you allow love to steer your life even amidst difficulties, even when the mind resists? For love is the ultimate truth, what you have sought all along, and indeed, what you inherently are. Upon reaching the highest levels of spiritual awakening, you recognize there is nothing to attain, nothing to reach for. You are already whole, complete, and free. The journey has never been about striving to become someone else. It has been about rediscovering your true self. Are you ready to release? Are you prepared to flow with the currents of life, to surrender into the unknown, and to embrace the infinite love that resides within you? This is the essence of the highest stage of spiritual awakening, and it is available to you in this very moment. Thank you for traversing this path with me. Remember, the road to awakening is not a straight line. It's not a quest to achieve a distant goal. It is about fully embracing each moment with an open heart and a serene mind. The signs are present, the flow exists, and love surrounds you. All that remains is to let go and trust the journey.